You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Hello, single smart female. It's your romantic fairy godmama coming to you today with a single smart female listener question all the way from the beautiful country of Australia, which I've never been to. And no, I will not attempt an Australian accent today, even though I know that's what you're really longing for. Me butchering the Australian accent right now, because it is quite amusing. Okay, so today's question, again, comes all the way from the beautiful country of Australia, and it is from Miss But He's My Best Friend. And Miss But He's My Best Friend writes, Dear Jen, I've listened to your advice about getting over him, but how do you get over him when he's also your best friend? The rules of blocking him cannot apply in this case. Okay. Couple of things that we address when doing submissions. We ask if you're focused on one particular man right now, and Miss But He's My Best Friend says yes, but I'm trying to wean off of him, and she's been single for 9 months. Now, this is an interesting question, and I'm going to give you an interesting answer. Now, the first thing you have to ask yourself when you're calling him your best friend is, are you calling him your best friend now? I mean, maybe y'all started off as best friends before and then moved into the romantic part and you're looking for a way to go back to the best friends. I'm going to guess, it sounds like to me that he was the one who did the breaking up in this case, or he wanted to break up more than maybe you did, but maybe you agreed with it, or whatever. And so you have to ask yourself at this point, are you lying to yourself? Are you trying to hold on to the best friend part because you think that that somehow is going to rekindle things between the two of you? And my suspicion about that comes from the fact that you said that you're trying to wean off of him. And then so you're telling me that the advice I give about getting over somebody is not valid because you have a best friend scenario and you have to see them. The truth is, we don't have to see anyone. We don't have to spend time with anyone. These are choices we make in life. Okay, it might not be a comfortable choice, and I'm not even telling you for sure it's the right choice, but it is a choice. And as women, we have to accept responsibility for our choices. And you have to address, are you lying to yourself? Are you only trying to make this into a best friend scenario again because you really want to be with this man? And there's part of you that thinks if you let this go right now, then there goes all of your chances of ever being together. And I'm just going to leave you with that for a second and let you sit in that instead of answering any more to that piece. But number 2 is, I do want you to know that if you are a woman who wants to be best friends with an ex and you're going at first, especially if they were the one leaving, you have to be amazingly strong. And I'm not saying, I know the great thing emotionally is to be the big person and to be able to but let's just be honest. You have to be insanely emotionally strong to just go from being in love with someone and then just acting like friends. And then that's it. Okay. Especially if you get wind of their dating, or maybe they don't respond to a message when you send it to them, or maybe they're kind of cryptic about stuff, or maybe they even start talking directly about the women they're dating with you. You know that shit hurts. And I don't want us to have to pretend it doesn't. Now, I don't think that we have to throw these big fits and make a big deal of it, all that kind of stuff. But let's just acknowledge that that is really hard, no matter how emotionally strong you are. So that's one of the things that you definitely have to consider in this. And that's why I teach women to maybe take a period of time away from somebody. And then after that, once you start fully mantourage dating and like legitimately mantourage dating, not half-ass mantourage dating, not, and you get excited about your dating prospects and you're feeling good that, even though maybe the breakup wasn't something you wanted to happen, you realize that maybe it was a good thing and you're moving on, then coming back to that friendship is great. And having honest conversation with a man about that is perfectly normal too, okay? it is usually a lot easier for the person who is doing the leaving to have a friendship than the person who is being left. It's a lot easier for them because they're already excited about the prospects in their dating life, which is why I do suggest that you maybe take a break of having to know and be and do everything with that person so that you can get a little healing under your belt and you can start exploring your options or your romantic options, because then it doesn't hurt nearly as bad. In fact, in a lot of cases, when you're mantourage dating properly, which has happened with women that I've worked with, all of a sudden you're actually cool with the friendship. You come to this resolution and closure that you've never experienced before. I know we always talk about having that conversation of closure. That's a bullshit conversation that we talk about all the time. That conversation for closure that we want is just us usually trying to find a little hole to renew everything again. It's not real, true closure. Closure comes from accepting that that type of relationship with that person has ended and you have other options and new things to explore on your plate now and to start enjoying those. So again, you do need to assess whether or not, you're giving him the best friend title because you really don't want to lose him. And the thing is that by clinging on to somebody, especially when they've broken up with you, it is next to impossible to hold on to them, okay? Pretending like it doesn't hurt is not helpful either in any situation because you're going to start resenting him. Like, you're driving yourself crazy trying to figure out what he's doing if he's not sharing things with you. And then you're really driving yourself crazy if he is sharing things with you about moving on and trying to pretend like, oh, you're the coolest chick ever. So there is nothing wrong with explaining to somebody, hey, I really would like us to be close friends, best friends even again. I just don't think I can do it right now. Let me take a pause. Let me sort my head out because I really care about you. And romantically, I was hoping things would continue to develop. But I get that that's not where you want it to go. And I respect that. And then, but giving yourself grace and giving yourself that period of time to start to recover and start to move on. So I really do call BS on the rules of blocking him and stuff like that. And by the way, blocking him is only really about if you're obsessed with him, meaning you're constantly checking, you're hurting yourself over and over again over his status and what he's doing. Because then we have to be honest with ourselves too. Why are you doing that to yourself? Because you're preventing yourself from actually moving on and having an incredible relationship. Because when a relationship ends, it usually means there's something better coming along, but we block that from happening by being obsessed with this person and not moving on with that person, saying that nobody else is as good as him. And instead of just allowing yourself to grieve that relationship and then recognizing that here's an opportunity and that your higher power is giving you something that's going to be very special, but you need to be open to it. So quit closing those opportunities down. And how do you get over somebody? Well, okay, if you are going to be around them all the time, you're just going to have to do some massive head work around just understanding that being with them and spending time with them is just friendship. And it doesn't mean anything about your romantic worth if he doesn't want to be with you, okay? And even if he moves on, it doesn't mean anything about your romantic worth. And then I definitely suggest that you really learn how to mantourage date properly and go to mantouragedating.com. So that's MANTOURAGE dating.com and get a free class from me where you can start to learn how to mantourage date properly and really truly learn what it means to open up your options so that your higher power can come in and give you the love life that you really want. Okay, lover girl, it's time for the final thought on today's show. Getting over a man who is your best friend is definitely challenging. But what's even more challenging is trying to hold on to a friendship that is emotionally cutting you repeatedly. Hey again, lover girl. Don't forget to subscribe to the show in your favorite podcast app, as well as share this episode with all of your single smart girlfriends. And if you are the woman who is ready to create the dating and love life experiences that others say don't exist, meet me over at secretsocietyofAdoredWomen.com to schedule your application interview.